One of the things with Profem is that Profem gives you some certain rules that you have to follow that will enable you pass the Profem challenge and eventually enable you get a payout. I'm going to show you a proven strategy that will simply enable you pass any Profem and most importantly get a live payout from that Profem. Some of the rules that this Profem can give to you can simply be drawdown rule, limit rule, and consistency lot size rule. I'm going to use all of these things to simply show you a proven strategy that will enable you pass any Profem. But before going into that, if you're seeing me for the very first time, my name is Divine. What I do here is document how I trade and make videos that will improve how you approach trading. If you want to see content like this video, subscribe, and tell me in the comment section which Profem are you trading and how is it going. I'll be right back. Now, before I go into giving you this particular strategy that will enable you pass any Profem in 2025, you simply need to understand all of these rules that the Profem has given to you. What is the drawdown rule? What is the limit rule? And what is consistency or lot size rule? Because this is what's going to enable you pass the challenge and eventually get a payout. Now let's start with drawdown rules. Now the drawdown rule is simply the limit you are not expected to go down in your balance or else you breach the account. And these drawdown rules can simply appear like a daily drawdown, and overall drawdown. And some Profem can simply give you, like, let me say, a 5% daily drawdown and again 10% overall drawdown, and targets most times can be like 10% targets. And now for some Profem, they give you a limit rule that will enable you get this target here. That means what the limit rule is saying to you is that you have to simply be able to meet this target in a specific period of time. It can be 30 days, it can be 60 days, and some Profem, they don't have any limits. For example, let's assume that we are simply using a Profem that has a 30 days limit. That means you are expected to simply meet targets in 30 days, right? Now, I'm not going to explain consistency rule in this particular video because I explained it in my last video. I'm simply going to be using daily drawdown and limit drawdown to simply show you how to use this proven strategy to pass any Profem in 2025. But first, let's interpret what this particular limit or rules are saying. That once you buy a Profem, they're giving you this daily limit of 5% and overall limit of 10% to achieve a target of 10% within 30 days. This is what this whole thing is saying. And for you to simply apply a proven strategy that will enable you achieve this 10%, so you pass the challenge and eventually get funded, you have to follow 3 steps. Number 1 step is simply convert this particular percentage in respect to the account size that you're buying from them. What this means is this. Let's for instance say you buy a $10,000 account. Now I'm using this particular amount because it's very popular and everybody can afford this. Let's assume you buy this particular account size, right? The first you want to do is to simply convert the percentage in respect to this particular account size. In this case here, 5% of $10,000 is simply what? $500. And 10% of this account is simply what? $1,000. And 10% again here is simply what? $1,000. Right? So let me explain this whole thing in terms of money. Remember, I first explained it in terms of percentage, but again, let me explain it in terms of money. That the Profem is simply telling you that you are not expected to have at least minus $500 from this account in a day, or overall minus $1,000 from this account overall, and you are expected to simply what, make at least $1,000 from this account for them to give you a live account. This is what it's simply saying. And again, in respect to the day limit, it's asking you to achieve this particular target within 30 days. This is what the prop firm is simply asking you to do. And for you to simply execute this particular proving strategy that I'll give to you in this video, this is the first step. Convert the percentage to money so you will know what you're doing. Now, having converted this particular percentage to money, the second step to do is to simply identify how many trades you're going to take on this account for you to bridge the overall drawdown as well the daily drawdown. But first, we're going to start with the overall drawdown. That's how many trades can I take on this account that will enable me bridge this particular overall drawdown. In this case here, I'm going to be giving you the best method or the best approach that will enable you to distribute this money for this particular overall drawdown. Now, the question is, how many trades do you have to take on this overall drawdown for you to simply blow the account or for you to meet targets? In this case here, some persons can decide to choose 5 trades, 2 trades, risk whatever they want to risk. But for you to be on the safer side, the best approach here is simply what? 10 trades. Right? The best approach here is for you to simply take what? 10 trades on this account for you to simply bridge the account or for you to hit your target. In this case here, once you identify how many trades you want to take, you want to simply identify or distribute this particular money to these 10 trades. That in this case here, because you're taking 10 trades, you're simply going to be risking what? $100 in one trade. That means you're going to be putting what? $100 on this particular trade until you blow the account. That it will take you 10 trades for you to blow this account if you keep risking what? The same amount of $100. That leads us to the second step, which is simply to identify how many trades you have to take in a day out of this particular 10 trade that will not enable you what? Breach this account here. How many trades do I have to take in a day that will not enable me breach this particular account here? In this case here, the maximum trade you should take in a day is simply going to be 5 trades, right? 5 trades and you're going to blow up this account, and you don't want to be in this position. But instead, you go for the best option, which is simply take 3 trades in a week. That is the best option, right? 3 trades in a week. Now, with this particular 3 trades in a week, you are simply going to achieve 10 trades in 30 days, which is what prop firm wants you to do. No magu, no, just simply stick to this particular plan. Take 10 trades, now 3 trades in a week, and eventually 30 days you're going to simply compound what? 10 trades, and most likely you're going to pass this account no matter how bad your strategy is. That takes us to the next step, which is what? To simply maintain a consistent risk to reward without emotions. Let me recap the first step. First step is simply for you to convert the percentage to money, and when you convert the percentage to money, you distribute this particular money to the number of trades you're going to take within 30 days. And once you simply achieve a particular plan, the next thing you want to do is to simply maintain a consistent risk to reward without emotions. That if you're simply going to maintain a specific risk to reward without emotion on this particular 10 trades, you're going to eventually win at the end of the day. And I'm going to show you how and why in this very video. Now let's assume you go for, let me say that every trade you have to take, you're going for a 1:3 risk to reward. 1:3 risk to reward. That no matter what price does, no matter how price, no break even, no story, just 1:3 risk to reward, stop loss or take profits, no emotions. At the end of the day, you're going to see the power of risk to reward and how eventually you're going to win. Now remember, 10 trades in 30 days by simply taking 3 trades in a week. If you stick to this rule and risk the same amount of money, you're eventually going to win and you're going to pass this particular problem account. Let me show you why I said this. Remember, you're taking 10 trades in a month, right? And let's say you're simply going to stick to a 1:3 The one is to 3 risk to reward, right? That's your risk to reward that you want to simply be consistent with. And here is number of trades, right? Follow me carefully so you get what I'm saying. Now you have your win, you have your loss, and here you have your targets. The power of risk to reward is simply telling you that even if you take 10 trades and lose 7 trades in a row, you're still going to be up by 2%. What this means is this: for example, you take 10 trades here, you win 3 and lose 7, you're still up 2%. That this is the worst that can happen in this particular account if you're maintaining a good strategy. Remember, you have to have a good strategy without emotions. You're banking on your strategy. You're banking on your strategy and not on your emotions. That if you simply bank on a 1 is 3 risk reward and take 10 trade and lose 7 and win 3, maintaining the particular risk reward, you're still going to be up by what? 2%. Now if you take another 10 trade again, and maybe you take 4 win and 6 losses, you're simply going to be up by what? 6%. Are you seeing how it's improving? Now again, let's assume you take another 10 trades here. You're constantly using the same risk to reward. No emotions, price goes stop loss or price goes take profits, but you're maintaining the same risk to reward. And you take 5 trades, lose 5 plus 10. You have simply passed the profit challenge. As simple as that. That you're not banking on your emotions, but instead you're banking on your strategy. Now let's assume you take another 10 trades here and you take like 6 win and 4 losses. Eventually you're going to be upwards 14%. You've passed the profit challenge. The same consistency in risk to reward. This is simply the proven strategy that will enable you pass any profit in 2025 without any emotions. First, identify or convert the percentage to become money. Once you have simply converted the percentage to become money, you simply convert the money to number of trades you want to take. And when you identify the number of trades you want to take, you simply bank on your 1 is 3 risk reward and on your strategy, not your emotions. That will be all for this very video. I will see you in the next one. Peace.